Hold on, guys. Hey, how you doing out there? Welcome to another live stream brought to you by Guitar College, right here in beautiful downtown Atascadero. I've got Wes working the camera. Say hi, Wes.
Hey, everybody.
Boy, you're getting beard, man. You're getting a bigger beard.
I'm getting beard.
You're getting beard. Yeah, nice. You're getting a beard, man. Gail's working the board and the message board. And here we are again. Remember, this is your live stream. And if you don't ask questions and show up, yeah, we ain't going to either. But we sure like it when you get on there and you spur some conversation on the message board. So please do that. Also, please hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. So we've got a lot to talk about today. Lots and lots of stuff. First off, well, tell you what, where should we start? You know, I've been messing with this the last couple of days. You know, Tina Turner passed away, and it's a shame, but nobody's getting out of here alive. You know, it's too bad. But anyway, if you've seen the movie, you should really see the movie about her. Wonderful. What a life.
What's the movie?
I don't know. It's about Tina. I don't know the title. Type in Tina Turner movie. You'll find it.
Okay.
Look it up. Google it.
Well, I just figured since such a must-see movie that might remember the title. But
Maybe it's I Like Ike. No, that was a campaign slogan. I don't know what it was called. But anyway.
What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah.
1993.
That's probably it. So it reminded me that many, many, many years ago, and the year was, I think, 1969 or 1970, they came, of course, I can't find any record of it, but I know they were there. They came to California Lutheran College in Thousand Oaks, and my group was the opening act, either the opening act or they had a dance afterwards. I can't remember. And that was quite a show. That's when Proud Mary was big, and all that. I wonder if it was later than that. But we weren't married yet. So we got married in 70, so it was somewhere around there. And I talked to my friend Jerry, who was the singer in the band. He doesn't remember it at all. And I actually don't remember playing. I remember seeing the band, but I know that we were there, and I remember being backstage. And I remember this one thing. The only white guy in the band was this sax player, and he's a short little dude. And he was hitting on Gail, on your mother, Wes, like nobody's business. And I remember being up there playing, and he's got his hands all over her, and I was not happy. So I do remember that. That was my takeaway of the whole thing. But you know what? It's funny. I just don't remember playing it, though. I know we were there, and I know it happened, but I don't remember. And the same thing, one time our band got asked to open for Taj Mahal at a concert in San Fernando Valley at a private school. And I don't remember playing at all. I know we were there, and I know we were doing it. But it's like those acts, Taj Mahal and, Tina Turner, they're so powerful, it blurts out the memory of us doing anything, So it was quite a trip. Although I've looked for the flyer on that concert, but I can't find it anywhere. But anyway, I know we were there. Jim Rolfe, I know you. Were you there, Jim? I know Steve Stewart was there. He always talked about that. So maybe he would know. Anyway. So nobody has a recollection of actually playing, but Boyd was the drummer. He remembers being backstage. And I'm thinking, why would we be backstage if we weren't playing? So there you have it. So interesting. Tina Turner. What's Love Got to Do with it? The movie. Go see it, right? Wherever it is. Dick Clark says the first rock and roll record was, guess, not Bill Haley, Rock Around the Clock, not Don't Be Cruel, not Little Richard. It was Ike Turner, 1953, Rocket 88. Can you believe that? So he ought to know. 1953. Everybody thinks, oh, yeah, it's Rock Around the Clock, 1955. Not according to Dick Clark. So anyway. Okay, so that particular song that we opened with was called Eternal Triangle. And
the eternal struggle there.
Yeah, I know. I had
that song sounds so hard.
Well, it is.
I mean, it's like right out of the gate, you picked the hardest song, too. You know? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, it's like, show business. We got to open up with something up and happy and fun and exciting instead of, well, you know. Hi, welcome to the Rich Severson Hour.
Well, it's not like you have to start with something that's like mellow, or there's plenty of upbeat stuff that's easier to play.
Yeah.
You know, like
Like-
it's like, oh my gosh, it's just, I can't even think that fast, and let alone try to play that.
If you think you're out to lunch. So this is my L4. I don't know why I got it out. I got it out this morning. I was looking at guitars and I was thinking, I had a guy ask me about if I wanted to sell this. And so I've been toying around that idea. What do you think, Wes?
I probably wouldn't sell it.
Thanks. Okay, you're right. All right, so yeah. I mean, it's I can't believe how much they've gone up in price. I'm looking at them on Reverb. Now they're like 65. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So we got people here.
Cool. Welcome. Who do we have here?
Got your buddy Tim Patchin.
Timmy. What's happening, man? I sure wish you could make workshop. But we do have a full boat, pretty much.
We got Roland from Seattle, Mike P. from Ohio, Julia Claverenga asked, have you ever tried a fretless guitar? I tried a Godin, and it was fun for a single line stuff, but really tough for chords.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen it's called the Flattener?
Yeah, you sent me that.
I sent you that link to show that. Yeah, it's you put it on your guitar, and it's a piece of glass or plexiglass or whatever, and it raises it gets rid of the frets basically. So anyway, that's cool.
Here you go. This glass thing.
Yeah, you put it on your guitar, and now you have a fretless guitar.
I mean, how thick is it? What if, like, your action's so low, would that even fit under your strings?
Well, it raises it up. It's got a nut.
Oh, got ya.
Yeah, there should be a video of it playing. It's kind of, I mean, it's cool on bass. I don't know how well it works on guitar, fretless guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems a little.
Hey, did I see Patrick Evans is on his way to Thousand Oaks for his granddaughter's graduation? Where is she graduating from, Pat? You know, I went to Thousand Oaks High and Newbury Park High, so it's one of those two places, unless it's Westlake or Agora, whatever.
Let's see. Richard Alvey is here from the UK.
Hey, Richard.
He said he made it this time. Awesome. Good to have you. JPJ, John Stoll had a Hofner Verythin signature at some point. I've been seeing those on Reverb.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Hofner Verythin. Should we get that out?
Sure.
We got to remember last week we had that, we got cut off and everything. It was a drag.
Yeah.
But and then at the very end, Gail brought this in. But I had gotten this guitar from a student, and many of you might know that I was sponsored by Hofner. and I've had a few of these. They're really a quality guitar. Hofner's been building these things for a long time. Now this is, what'd you say, Wes, 2002?
Yeah.
I worked on this. I had to file some fret ends, dress the frets a little bit. And it's got a nice tone. It's almost got that, I don't know how to explain it. It's got a little bit of, the pickups almost have a little bit of a single pole sound. So the guitar has got a solid spruce top, the cat eyes F-holes, which I think is very cool. It's got a super access to up here. Here is a D, all the way up to the D, no problem. And that's probably why John likes it so much. So you got a lot of access, but it doesn't have 24 frets like the Jazzicas. So therefore, I think it's got a little mellower tone. Here's the back pickup. Both pickups. Anyway, and it's got a beautiful solid maple neck, ebony fretboard, nice inlays, beautiful headstock. This particular, let me get this off of here. This particular one, the cover for the truss rod, that's not the right cover, I don't think. But anyway, take a look at the back. It's got, like I said, a solid maple neck, maple sides and back, and it's very thin. It's about an inch.
It's 1.25 inches.
1.2.
5 inch and a quarter.
Okay, inch and a quarter. Oh, good. Okay. Way to do your math. So,
Well, someone's got to actually talk about the facts of these guitars at some point, you know. I guess that's my job now, so.
yeah, get with it, buddy.
No.
Look at that tailpiece. Isn't that pretty? By the way, you know, it's got the gold hardware on it. And I want to tell you something about gold hardware. There's different levels of it. You think, oh, it's gold hardware. Well, some of it is triple and quadruple layered, you know, and these are very thick gold. You're not going to wipe it off with a rag like you would some of them, you know, like a Japanese, you know, or a very inexpensive guitar. So it's got quality parts. And anyway, so I took it in, and I am going to offer it up. By the way, it's very light because it does have a center block, but it's not maple, it's spruce. A spruce center block, which is much lighter wood. The Spruce Goose. And like I said, man, it's like, here's the neck. Wow, it's right here. Let me tune it up a little again. So I just worked on this thing this morning.
Is it 17 inch?
No, it's 16. 16-inch. And like I said, it's very, very light. Now, it doesn't have pickguard. I think the John Stoll model has a pickguard. I could be wrong. And it also has a different finish. I remember I was doing a conference, a Christian conference with one of these, and Phil Keggy walked by, and he was listening, and he said, "Wow, that guitar really sounds nice." And he picked it up. I said, "You want to play it?" And so, yeah, he did. And he said, "Wow, it sounds different in your hands than it does out in front." So that's the first time I've ever heard that expression or that statement. And since then, I've come to be aware of that. Some guitars just, I don't know what it is, that just sounds different here than it does out there. So here's a couple. Okay, I need a vote on this. I was thinking about putting a pickguard on there. Number one, vote. Should I put a pickguard on there? I like a pickguard. Not everybody does. And if I do put a pickguard on, this one was made for me by one of my students a long time ago who got one made for his Verythin. And he said, "I want to send you one too." And before I even got it installed, I ended up selling it. So this one fits on there. What do you think about the color of that? What do you think, Wes? Do you like that?
No.
Yeah.
No, that looks weird. I mean, it's like just a totally different
tone
of color of wood.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so then this is like a one off a Jazzica. And I could put that on. Better, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the black looks a lot better.
Yeah.
For sure. But do you need one? I don't know.
Well, if I was going to keep it to play it all the time, I would want to put one on. But no, you don't need one, right? You know, it doesn't have the holes for any of them.
Yeah, it just looks kind of, I don't know. Looks weird.
No pickguard, one fella says. Let's play a little tune on this. This,
Hey, can you play it acoustically?
oh, sure. Okay, yeah. Let me turn down this knob. By the way, these are solid pots. I mean, they're high quality parts. Here's what it sounds like acoustically. So, yeah, you can feel the pot. I mean, that's a solid quality pot.
Is the guitar flatter than a 335? Somebody asked.
I don't know if it's flatter because
It looks flatter.
It's got an arch to it. But yeah, you know, a 335 doesn't have much of an arch either, you know. I don't know if it's more or less. I don't know. But it's got a shallower bridge, which you can set the spacing on, which I like. Also, the other thing I mentioned is the gold plating, but the super quality switch, oh, I know what I wanted to say. When I was filing down the frets, you know, on these ends, after a while, you know, they got, I guess, needed to be hydrated. But I noticed this metal is super hard. These frets, I don't know, I guess they're steel frets or something, but there's no fret wear at all. And I'm thinking, man, this metal is really strong. And then it got me thinking, like some of these guitars built in, I don't know where guys are getting fret wire anymore. I don't even know where it comes from. But I heard there was a shortage of some quality fret wire. But some of the fret wire is definitely a lot softer than other frets. And these are freaking hard. So, anyway.
Is there an arch in the back?
Oh.
Garrett asked.
Yes. Just ever so. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little tiny arch. It's got the 5-ply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-ply binding, bound neck. Or, yeah. See the fretboard, bound fretboard. Ebony fretboard.
So the John Stoll Verythins have that pickguard.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I don't know, when you look, I don't know that I love that. I don't know. That's
It's got a different bridge too.
a single pickup too.
Look at how high you can get. It doesn't go to E flat. So
What are the pickups? Some Richard Jenkins is asking.
they're designed by Ken Armstrong, I think, but they're made by Hofner. Hofner or Schaller. I think they're probably made by Schaller, but they have the Hofner stamp on them. But I think they're to a
Yeah, this one says Schaller pickup Hofner 514 VC-B humbuckers. 514 VC-N. I don't know what that is. But yeah.
yes. Richard Jenkins says yes to the Pickguard. Tom says no Pickguard.
Yeah, it's pretty even split for sure. But I mean, I don't know if you're gonna sell it, like why put the pickguard on it, right? Won't people kind of want it original?
Yeah, and Bruce, is that Bruce Adolph there? He said, if you're gonna sell it, keep it original. By the way, the case is beautiful.
On the Road Again asked if we have the workbench cameras yet. So
Well, tell him.
we have one, but we're still working on everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to figure that out. We need a day to do that. What are the names of those F-holes again?
Cat eyes, something like that. What do you mean?
Is there a name? Sadie Lamp Duo asks, is there a name for those type of sound holes, not F-holes?
Yeah, no, I don't know if there's a. I just call them cat eyes. so I don't know. Pretty, huh? Yeah, this is a nice guitar, isn't it? That sounds pretty, doesn't it? It's got a real chime to it.
Yeah, that's good.
So anyway, there it is, Verythin. If you're interested, give me a call. They're pretty inexpensive for what you're getting. Mid-teens, Jeez, what do you want? Unfortunately, you can't get the... Hofner went through some real weird things. When I first met up with them, they were just acquired by the Music Group. The Music Group was a huge corporation that had band instruments and everything, and they had a booth at the NAMM show that was the coolest booth. It was a replica of the Cavern in Liverpool, right? And so the brick walls, all enclosed, and little concert stage, tables like a nightclub. It was very cool. Then guitars on the walls. And they sponsored everybody after a while. Everybody was wanted to play there. Everybody wanted one of those guitars. And everything was going along great, we all thought. And then they decided to sell off Hofner. And they sold it to a kind of an independent group. I don't even know who they sold it to. and they didn't have the bankroll. They didn't have they couldn't seem to keep up with production. They cut all that stuff. And then they decided, well, let's get stuff made in China. And so they did that. And so now there was two variations of guitars, the China built and then the German built. Now they they have a presence at the NAMM show that's about that big. You know, they about 2-3 guitar stands, and that's it. So I don't know really. I know they're very hard to get new in the United States. Now in Europe, it might be a different story.
So talk about too, like you can buy a new Jazzica, right? Or I mean, a new Verythin, right?
You can.
But well, don't they make them? Like, didn't they start making them in Korea or?
Yeah, that's what I said. In China, I don't know where you get them. I've never seen them anywhere.
Well, I mean, just because like here on Reverb, there's a big price discrepancy. Like all of a sudden, these ones are like $570, $687, $570, and then some of them are 21. So I'm guessing the all the ones that are more expensive are the German ones, and then these other ones are.
Yeah, well, see that one for $32.50? That's the John Stoll, which is just like this one, really.
Right.
Right. Yeah, the German. Yeah, but
then there's vintage ones too, right?
Yeah, there's vintage.
Like
like that one for 24.
Right, like this one
with all the knobs. Yeah. You know, they're kind of weird. But yeah, that's funny.
Look at this thing.
But none of them are new. None of them are new, are they? That whole pile that you showed. Yeah.
That's what you need right there.
Yeah. And they went to those inlays there. They did also make a John Lennon model, by the way, which the John Lennon Hofner model, that sold really good right from the get-go. Again, that was made in Germany, but some of this other, the cheap ones are made in China, at the Guitar Factory, the city there. It's not like Eastman. Don't confuse some of these things with Eastman. Eastman came from the orchestral side of music and branched into guitars. Remember you did that thing about that city that is the guitar city in China? And they make for everybody. And so what was I saying? So Eastman is more they're more into the quality. Not that the other stuff doesn't have quality, but like the Eastmans are just when you pick it up and you realize, wow, this is something. You know what I mean? Supposed to you pick up a cheap Gretsch, feels just like a cheap Epiphone, which feels just like a cheap Hofner, which feels like a Schecter, which feels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, on the Hofner website, they still have these on here. You can't really buy from here, but
yeah.
I mean, it appears like they still make them.
Do you remember we had that video, the making of a Beatle bass?
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So I got a funny story about Hofner. Dick Clark goes to liquidate some of his memorabilia. One of the things he had was a Beatle bass signed by Paul McCartney. And anyway, so he's supposedly he's got this Beatle bass, right? And they go on. They were on TV talking about some of this stuff, and they brought out this bass. Well, a couple of experts, one of them being a friend of mine who sponsored me at this Hofner thing, who knows all about this stuff, looked at that bass and said, wait a minute, that bass is the wrong year that the Beatles were on tour in the United States, that there's something's mismatched here. Something ain't quite right. And so he gets with another guy who's a handwriting expert on Paul McCartney signatures and stuff. They get on there and they all inspect the space, and they come to find out it's a counterfeit. So, it was given to Dick Clark by some roadie guy saying that it was, but it turns out to be a counterfeit.
Bummer.
Yeah, indeed. So anyway, there it is. I guess that's enough talk about the Hofner. Anything else we want to talk about this? What do you think?
I mean, how does it sound for blues?
Sounds like a Strat.
What's your comparison to, like, you got all these other thin line guitars? Like, how does that one differ? How does it sound compared to, like, the 535 or the T59 or your 347? Like, what's the advantage, disadvantage?
This has a lot more high-end sizzle. The other ones are more MIDI, you know. This has got that little something special, and I think it's the spruce top with the combination of these pickups. It's got this little, it just sounds different. Now it's 1 3/4 inch nut width, which, as you'd probably know, I'm not the biggest fan of. As I've gotten older in my old age, I'm starting to like it little. But if you got big fat fingers, it's perfect.
And then you said it's also, is it lighter, more comfortable to play, or what?
If like this, it's like holding nothing. It's like a ukulele or something.
Because that 347 you have is super heavy, right?
That thing weighs 100 pounds.
And then what about like a 535?
Yeah, 530. Well, my 347 has got the Bigsby on it, so there's another pound or two. But this is the, it's a lot lighter than that. Now with my strap button here, it could be, a little neck heavy, but the way I play, it doesn't matter, boom, boom, boom. So I always have this here, so it doesn't matter. But so yeah, the body is not, if this was the 335, the body is much heavier, therefore it wouldn't be headstock heavy. But I think it's got just a beautiful, but we're going direct, by the way.
It's about the same price as the Eastman T59, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to sell this for like 15 or something. I usually don't give prices, do I?
No, you're always weird about that, for sure. And then how much are those T59s?
We have them for 17, brand new.
Right.
1775 or something.
Is there a one that you like better, or is the thinner thing better? It's a little bit thinner, right?
This?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's thinner. You've noticeably. Is any of them better? They're just different. It's just different. It depends on, is an L4 better than a 775? It depends on what kind of night's sleep you had. It doesn't matter. They're all different. This, I think, has got a better jazz sound because it's got more spectrum. It's got a wider spectrum sound, don't you think? I mean, let's play a 2-minute. What do you think, Wes? Let's play something up.
Okay.
Well, not that again. Stop. Let's do where'd it go? Blues for Alice. This is for the hemp. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Anyway, that was Blues for Alice. Yeah. Crazy, huh, up here? Okay, there it is, the Verythin. It's very, where'd they come up with that name? I mean, these guys are original. Wouldn't you call it some kind of cool name, you know, like the Destroyer or the, you know, the, I don't know.
The Destroyer? I don't know if I'd go that far, but
all right, so
that's nice jazz, you know, for these guys that like to play jazz, smooth jazz. Come play the Destroyer.
Yeah. That's like the, remember Joe Naylor? He had those, you know, the Reverend amplifiers.
Right.
And we'd take them to these Christian conferences, and they were called the Hellhounds and the Hellbounds and all that. And amplifier. Nobody's going to buy that and put it in church.
Yeah. On the road again, had a question earlier that I thought was good. He said, Rich, let's hear some guitar stories. Which guitars are the hardest to sell and why? And any that you took a loss on just to get shut off.
Well, the ones that go the fastest, let's go that way, and that's probably 175s, 165s. But again, it's all about price. It's all about price, and so, you know, a guy told me a long time ago, you make your money when you buy it. You know, so you have to buy right and then sell. You know, so I don't. My biggest problem is I go in there and I look and I think, I don't want to sell that. I don't want to sell that. Why do I want to sell that? I don't want to sell that. So, you know, it's kind of like this 910. This thing is freaking gorgeous. And I think to myself, why would I want to sell this? And then I think, how many guitars do you need? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You know, and this thing is gorgeous. And it's like, I can't believe it hasn't sold. I think right now people are holding on to their money. Yeah, that, you know, we were talking about that earlier. I think with the uncertainty of the economy, everybody's 401ks in the tank or whatever. And well, not that I would know about that. And, you know, it's...
Well, yeah, I mean, people are getting their... The 401k thing is just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're...
Like, is the stock market, what, half of what it was? Is it, or where's it at? I don't even know.
Probably not half of what it was, but I mean, 25%. A lot of people have lost between 20 and 30% of their savings, their 401k savings. And there's, you know, if you have $1 million to retire on, all of a sudden now you have $750. That $250,000 is a lot of money that you just lost in the last 3 years, 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And then how long is that going to take you to get back?
Well, all it takes is one election.
That's I wouldn't bank on that, but so yeah, that's why the life insurance is really the way to go, man. When you want to take your money out of the stock market and put it into something safe, you're never going to lose any money if you invest in life insurance
or guitars.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you haven't lost. Have you lost money on? That was part of the question. Do you remember?
You know, I might have broke even, or you know, it depends. Sometimes I bought guitar, and you know, it needs a lot more work than I thought it was going to need.
Right.
But so that doesn't help. But you know, I just try to buy them, and the ones I want to sell, I try to price them, you know, competitively. I don't try to gouge people at all. I just want to. But on the other hand, you know, like sometimes you get a guitar and you think, gosh, this guitar really should be worth a lot more than it is. And so it's weird. I don't know. I think Norm says it's best. You know, it's all about supply and demand, and price is the big motivator. Some people, price is not an issue. So, but with most people, it is. But gosh, even if you feel like you've overpaid for a guitar, just wait it out. Just wait it out, because it's going to make you money. Nothing's getting cheaper. You know.
Tom asked which two brands of guitars seem to appreciate the most. Gibson Heritage? ?
Yeah, probably those two. And then Fender, I mean, We don't even touch that market, right? The solid body market. Who knows about that? I'm not a solid body guitar guy, but those are through the roof. That kind of stuff. And so you look at an L5 and think, oh wow, this L5 is like $15,000, whatever it is. I don't know, 10, 12. And then you go look at some solid body guitar that's selling for 35 and 40, and you go, what? So you know what I'm talking about, Russ?
Yeah.
So anyway.
I don't know. Some of them are crazy with the solid bodies, how expensive they are. It's like,
yeah, who's
buying these things?
And well, again, supply and demand. And, it's Steve Morris. Remember Steve Morris?
No.
Dixie Dregs. I think he said it best. Hey, man, Telecasters and Stratocasters, they're like skateboards. They're skateboards.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. This, talk about an arch. Look at the arch on this puppy. It's got arches coming out the yin-yang. But
yeah, I'm surprised you haven't sold that either.
I know.
Hey, Mark Larkins asked, would you play windy? Nice octaves.
I don't have a track for that, Mark.
Bummer.
That's what they jam over, these chords. So you can wail on with that. Well, I got to get a track together for that song. I will work on that this week. Maybe,
oh, gosh.
Maybe not. Okay, now.
All right, you're going to work on that this week. Yeah, that's a cool guitar, though. Yeah, like I'm surprised it's still here.
This is the flagship. I was going to play Lady Madonna. Let's see. Is this volume? Can you turn this guitar up a little?
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. What, the board was all whacked out today.
I haven't changed anything. I haven't even been out here.
The sub mix there, the fader was like sky high at the beginning.
Oh yeah. All right, let's do this. look up and I start reading this stuff while I'm trying to play. Why do I do that? I think it sounds better with this open mic on there. Don't you?
Well, it just adds a lot of high end. God, the thing is like spiking everywhere.
Turn the compressor on.
I don't think I can add more.
Okay. Well, do we have any questions? Do you ship overseas? Well, we have in the past, yes. It's expensive. But, you know, I talk to some friends of mine and they ship overseas all the time, so I don't know what I'm worried about. I always worry about that, but I have done it. How does it retail for? What does it...
Let's see.
You know what I have on my notes here to make a note of, did they see these videos that we posted this week? Things like the Penny Lane video and the new D'Angelico guitar, the quadraphonic fingering, the thing that Mitch Holder showed Howard Roberts, and the video of Gibson does some stupid stuff. The 7 best cities for guitar players, and the Black Orpheus one, and the Alone Together video. Wes has been very busy. Busy boy, huh, Wes?
Yeah.
Putting all those videos together. That's great.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of work. There's a lot of good stuff coming up too.
Yes.
Including, let's see. Oh, that Eastman video I'm putting out tomorrow.
On which one?
You have that. Well, you wanted that 805. You got that 805 you're trying to sell.
Oh.
Which you should have brought that one out if you're trying to sell it.
I did. I you know, I'm going to put a tone control on it too. That's the other thing I need to do.
Right. Garrett earlier said that, you know, if you really want a Pickguard on that Verythin, then you could do a clear Pickguard.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Which, to me, I think that's a smart choice because it looks weird with a Pickguard. I'm sorry, it just does.
Well, maybe I think I'll leave it. So I'm glad I asked that question because people don't seem to care. And that it seems more, you know, some say yes, some say no.
Yeah, it was like the wood one, definitely not. But the black one was like, okay, that looks better, but still, whatever. Do you need it? Like,
but you know, I remember a long time ago when I had my 175 and I took the pickguard off for a little bit, and I thought, God, the guitar is so pretty without the pickguard because it takes away from a lot of that guitar there. So, but I like to have a pickguard.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking for other questions.
Yeah, you know, so we have the 805 Eastman, the 910 here, the 610. I've got 2 T59s. Got a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, you got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Those are gone.
This one.
Yeah.
You need to pull some of these off of here. You got that 1973, the ES 150. That seems like it might be hard to sell.
Really?
Well, you've had it for a while. I mean,
Well, I've only played it once. Once on a live stream. Plus,
I put out a video on it the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I want to change the pickups in that, too. I think I have a single pole pickup, the Seymour Duncan single pole, and I think I'm going to do that. It's like a P90. I'm going to do that. I think it would just open that guitar up.
Huh.
This thing sounds pretty, doesn't it?
Tom has a question here. Which standard tune changes key the most often? The most different key centers?
Body and Soul does a lot of that. There's a bunch of songs that do that all the time. Little Boat, that's got a ton of key centers. That's probably one of them that does a lot of key changes. Because here you're on C, then E, B flat, then D, and then A flat, and then C, D harmonic minor, C harmonic minor. So yeah, that one changes keys a lot. Body and Soul, let's see.
Can you do a video on voice leading and passing tones? Voice leading and passing tones.
Well, I guess. Voice leading. What are you talking about? You're talking about in your comping or in your basically, if you're talking about comping, or are you talking about a chord melody? In which case, the chord melody has got the chords. It's got the melody already on there. So there's, voice leading. Generally, voice leading goes around the cycle of fourths. Basically, look at it. Let's say I have a song like Days of Wine and Roses. Let's see. The days of wine and roses, right? So if I, the chords of the song go, now, if I want to bring attention more so to this note here, the days, I might play a deceptive chord or the 5 chord. I might do something like this. And then resolve it, you see? Or I could go to the substitution of a flat 5 dominant. The day. So, or I could go to the 2 chord. And then go off to your melody. So now instead of playing this, so now I have. And even on this particular song, when I go roses, it built in has this chord here. So it's a deceptive sound. Roses, right? So now, okay, so now I go. Now I could delay that resolution by going. You see what I'm saying? Here it already is kind of a deceptive sound, so I wouldn't do it there. So there's a couple of examples. You can do that all over the place. So you could take a song like even Georgia or something. You can go, instead of going, you could go. So that's the 5 chord, some kind of altered 5 chord. Georgia. Okay. I don't know where else you would put it on that particular song at the moment, but that's one way of voice leading. In other words, your whatever you put under the melody is deceptive and interesting.
Does that guitar have a narrower nut? Carlos Campos is asking.
No, 1 3/4.
And then Richard Alvey said, I've recently bought a 2008 Peerless New York, virtually unused, including the case. I seem to remember that you didn't seem very impressed when you very briefly mentioned the brand.
Right. These little brown shoes. Yeah, the Peerless. They make a nice guitar. Again, Peerless makes for a lot of other companies, so they're a nice guitar to me. A couple of the ones I had, I forget the one I had. It was a green one. It kind of seemed a little flat. It didn't reverberate. You couldn't feel it, when you played it. I like the way you can feel it in your gut. But then I had some other ones that a long time ago I bought 6 of them, a 6-pack of guitars, and it was around the year 2000, and that was a sweet little guitar, and that was a nice little guitar. So I think it depends on the brand. The model. I'm not that familiar with that particular one. So, yeah.
W.C. Ray asked earlier, are the Guitar Camp charts and lessons available through Guitar College library?
Yeah, they are. If you're a member of the library, I think they are. Are they, Gail? I don't know. We'd have to look that up. I usually give all the attendees the link, and then they get it. But it's hosted on the library.
Jacob asked,
hey, Jacob.
Did Peerless make Bob Conti's signature guitars?
Yes.
And then Roland asked, can you play the Miles Davis tune 4?
I don't know if I have that track in here.
I'm trying to, if I missed your question, just send it to me again, because there was a lot of comments on the Pickguard thing. feel like I've missed something. Yeah, maybe not. Here we go.
Man, I haven't played this one. That was the second ending. Okay, well, now that I got it rehearsed, I could probably play it now. Yeah. Some people like it to see me make mistakes. It makes you think makes you human. Yes, that is a sweet tone, isn't it?
William Melton asked, of all the great jazz guitars, how does the Eastman you're playing compare?
It's one of them. I mean, it is what it is. It's not going to be something else. It is what it is. This is a nice, very acoustic sounding guitar. You know, it's got a tone all its own. Hey, that rhymes. A tone all its own, and so it's not pretending to be an L5. It's not a 175. It's not a 335. It's an Eastman 910. So it's got a very acoustic kind of sound, kind of old school. Kind of reminds me of an old L4 in its tone. So.
And then let's see. There was a question. Oh, Lee Muller. Aloha, Rich.
Aloha.
Do you create your own backing tracks?
I just punch in the chords in Band in a Box, and then you can push, chord changes. You can do rests like that. That was a hard, like this track here that we just played. Let's see. So all those punches you got to punch in. I'm going to play that head again just to show you that I know how to play it. By the way, there's a really nice version of that song. I've gotta say, it's really nice. It's with me and Todd Johnson and Gary Newmark, and it's called. It's on the album Jazz 316. It's got the West Side of Heaven on it, and it's got that song as a bossa nova.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but so. Let's see.
Why don't you have that track?
That's a good question. Why don't I? I don't know. Because I didn't make tracks. I should have taken all those things and made tracks out of them, but we didn't.
Well, yeah, you should have. Tom has a good question here, which I'm curious about this too. Hey, Rich, a slightly off-the-wall question. Any thoughts about the spiritual aspects of playing music, creating melodies, improvising, etc.? The spiritual aspects of playing music.
Howard Roberts says something that's, I think, quite interesting, and I think it's true. You are born with music in you, It's already in you. The problem is getting it out. And I think that's quite interesting because I hear that a lot, that guys say, like, oh man, I know what I hear this in my head, but I can't get it out. And it just, there's a lot to go wrong from wherever you're hearing music, in your heart, wherever in your brain, wherever it is, in your mouth. There's a lot of things to go to get it down into these fingers and out here. So, so it takes a long time to do that. I think one of the things, the spiritual aspect of it, like I said, music is the language of heaven, right? Yeah, man.
It's not. Okay, I've never heard that one.
Yeah, I mean, music can say so much in the fewest amount of words, and it touches the heart. So yeah, man, music is very spiritual.
Yeah, I always think about these guys trying to become improvisers or whatever, and they're so nervous and you're thinking about everything else but what you're trying to play. You know what I mean? Those times where you just can't shut your mind off from thinking about like you're playing and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I need to get my oil changed tomorrow, or some weird random thing that you do not need to be thinking about, right? So you've never been like into meditation, right? Because it seems like that would be a good way to be able to like, you know, kind of clear your mind, and you, as you meditate more, you learn how to stop yourself from thinking about kind of things like that. Or when you do think about them, you quickly observe the thought, oh, that's weird, I was thinking about my oil change. And then like once you kind of are aware of that weird thought, then it just goes away, you know? As opposed to being like, man, why can't I stop thinking about stuff? Then you're just going to start thinking about more stuff because you're fighting it, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, improvisation, you know, is a weird thing. I think one of the things that's very helpful with that is to avoid all those thoughts, is to concentrate on something pertaining to the guitar, not necessarily the notes you're playing. Like I would concentrate, sometimes I concentrate on the beat. Or sometimes you'll concentrate on the chords. Sometimes you concentrate on the music that you're playing, you know, the notes. But something, or the fingering, something pertaining to the guitar. So you are thinking of something that is happening at the moment. So those other thoughts don't have room to get in. Does it make sense? You're already spinning your wheels here on just, okay, so let's take a song like we just did, whatever that, 4, you know. So, 2, I'm counting in 2 and 4. So, I might look at my fingers. You know, look at your pick. But I'm not really thinking of the notes too much. Maybe that's obvious. So you concentrate on the E flat. You go E flat minor, A flat major 7. Concentrate on the chord there. So then you're not going, man, I'm hungry, I could go for a McDonald's. You know, you're not. See, my problem is I got the messages here, and I look up and I think, oh, David says, Rich, your playing seems, and I'm like, what? So I need to put blinders on. So I think on some aspect of the guitar playing, the timing, the fingering, the picking, the chords, you don't necessarily have to think too much about the melody. Let your fingers just kind of go somewhere, and then if it's a wrong note, you make it right. That's an exercise that I think is really important that you should always try to do. Take the worst note you can play against this chord. Here, oops, there it is. Here's an E flat major 9. What's the worst note? Maybe A? Okay, well then, let's make it right. Okay, let's go the other direction. Now I've got a sweet little melody. So even though you made a mistake, you end up with a sweet melody. E7 CF. Anyway, you get the idea. Does that make sense, Wes?
Yeah, and I think too. Well, one thing that music is really good at, and I mean, for people and spiritual people, a lot of them are like, Zen leaning type of people that are trying to find peace, and the peace comes from being in a present moment, as opposed to thinking about the past or the future. You're just kind of concentrating on what is happening here and now. And music, you can't really help but do that when you play guitar. So I think that's why guitar playing is so soothing for people too, is because you might have a ton of crap to do the next week and have all this stuff, but when you go pick up your guitar and start playing it, you're probably not going to think about for at least that few minutes. Your mind is set on what you're doing then and there. So then you kind of go into the flow state type of thing where, you're just, all you're doing is thinking about guitar and what you're doing. And it's not too far ahead, not too far behind. So you're in a very peaceful, little 10, 15 minutes of playing guitar, that you can't get that from a lot of things, so
True.
So I think that's one reason why. And then even what you were saying about, even you're in the moment playing guitar and you're thinking about what notes to play, even that creates a disconnect because you're thinking too far ahead, and then it's like this stress and this fear.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you're just thinking about, oh, look at my hand, look at that pick go, like,
that's right.
Like, look at my fingers are working. Yeah, cool. But the minute you go like, oh shit, I got this C sharp minor coming up. What am I going to play over that? And you start thinking ahead. Then you're going to start getting into trouble, because that's where the peace is in the areas that you can't control. You can only control that moment when it comes.
True.
You're not going to be able to think in your head and control what's going to happen 5 seconds from now. So that's what a lot of people are guilty of looking too far ahead in the future, several days. I got a looming bill, blah, blah, blah. But even just looking at it from looking too far ahead, whether it's 10 seconds in the future, has issues there. It takes away your peace compared to just observing what's happening in that moment.
Right. Yeah, a lot of guys too, if you listen to your amp, listen to the notes instead of making the notes, trying to just listen to them. I think that's something that, Pat Metheny, I think I heard talk about that. I try to listen to the guitar, so I think that's something, and every situation is different because, depending on who you're playing, where you're playing, what happened to you that day, but you want to try to get in the zone, and just being aware that those things can pop up, I think puts you ahead of the game. In other words, if I have a weird thought come in, I'm going to control my thoughts. I think controlling your thoughts is one of the hardest things to do. But if you can control your self-talk, I think that's really important. If you can say to yourself, oh, that's all right, that's cool. Yeah. Instead of going, oh, crap, I did. Oh, jeez, I missed that. Oh, man, I missed that. Oh,
you idiot.
Stupid. Yeah. Like, what was Chris Farley? Yeah. Remember when you were in the Beatles? So, yeah, if you're just doing that, I think that's really helpful, that you control your self-talk and keep saying the words yes. Tony Robbins, he's got that thing, where you just start saying yes to yourself all the time. Just yes. If you make a mistake, it's okay. Fix it, or, just, that's cool. You what happens with guitar players is you condition your mind and your fingers and your ears to this block of sound that goes with this chord. And then once you get it, it's like, okay, now I want something else. And it's very hard to get out of it now. You spent years trying to get into so you can play within this framework. And now you want to try, now you got to try to get out of it, because it's boring now. So that's why I want to say you want to just try to force yourself to make a mistake and then make it right. Force yourself to do something you haven't done before. It makes it fun.
David Bronson asks, your playing seems very instinctive when you do these requests. Never a wrong note. Are you thinking notes and scales as you play?
Well, I'm thinking of the chord, and then you react to the chord. So you kind of it's a reaction to a chord, and you have to program your mind in that. So when you see C7, what do you see? You look down, you see C7. Do you see? Is it an altered C7 going to F? If so, what do you see? What do you see? Do you see C sharp minor major 7? All right. Do you see A7? Do you see G flat 7? Some of those things are kind of really kind of puts you more in the jazz realm, instead of when I see 7, I see this chord, and so I'm going to go. Or when I see this chord, I go. Or when I see this chord, do I go? Or, so I think you have to kind of condition your mind so that when you see a chord, it's a reaction. You react, and then you play a note, and then hopefully you get some other notes after that. Hi, Kirby. Hey, Wes, you got any news?
Yeah, I got a couple quick little things here. Yeah, you need me to do that?
Oh, the practicing mind. Good point, Gail. Practicing mind. Yeah, do the news.
Okay, I don't have a lot though, so
just do the news.
Hurry. So we've talked about Kurt Cobain's auction guitars. They've broken all the records. So, and then he's got a new thing now, a broken guitar that has chalked up a huge payday at an auction not too long ago, or middle of last month. So this black Fender Stratocaster sold for $600,000. It's all busted up, and people are just kind of in awe about how much this thing was actually got. It was estimated to get $60,000 to $80,000. And it wound up, like I said, getting $600,000, so almost 10 times more than what people thought. So yeah, pretty interesting. It's got all kinds of markings on it. So he smashed it up during one of his shows back in the day, and there you have it. So this thing, $600,000.
What's it going for?
It sold for $600,000. So anyway, that's just
what
another.
What world are we living in?
That's another one of his guitars. He's obviously has the record for highest guitar or most expensive guitar sold at auction, and that was that Martin D18, and then he also has that, or he had that '69 Fender Mustang that sold for $4.5 million. But those you could play. This one you cannot play. So anyway, no idea who bought it or whatever, but wow, right? $600,000. So I have no idea why it went so much higher than their asking price or their
what
estimate.
What were they asking? 60?
Yeah, the estimate was 60 to 80. So pretty weird.
Does it come with a straight jacket? Because you really got to be nuts to buy that, don't you?
I mean, do you think it's going to go down in value?
Well, it can't, right? Because somebody would have to sell it cheaper, and it ain't going to happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, you never know. In 20 years from now, that thing could be worth 20 million, you know?
Right, and then it could also be worth nothing. Because
Really? You think that thing's going to just be worth nothing at
yeah,
some point?
because his whoever bought it, when he dies, and his children will go, "What is this piece of crap? Let's just give it to the Goodwill." If they don't know the history of it,
Yeah.
I guess you got to school your kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's anyway. An interesting story here about Larry Carlton. He recently talked to Guitar World and reflected on how he ended up switching from Gibson, a company where he had a signature ES335 model, to now playing the L7V by Sire. That's somewhere around $650.
What? Hey,
Yeah.
do you have a picture? Put the camera on. You have it on. There you go. What? Now wait a minute.
He plays. So he had a signature Gibson 335 model, but he ditched it to go play one of these Sires.
Oh,
People
my
have talked
goodness.
about these on our show all the time. He has a whole line of them. So he's got the H7, which is like a 335 thing. He's got the L7, which is like a Les Paul thing, and a Strat, Telly. But anyway, these are they're cheap guitars.
Right.
600, $700. But he says that they're great. The quality is awesome on them. He says he had a 69. His problem was he had a 69 335 that he really liked, but he said that the Gibsons are inconsistent. So every time he would get a new 335, it just was not the same as his 69. So he gave that 69 to the people at Sire, and they used it to build some of these. He says, long story short, Sire approached me, and it seemed like the perfect time for me to make a move. So his contract had been up. When they approached me, they gave me 7 guitars made in Korea for me to evaluate before we met. And I have to say the quality was just unbelievable. But ultimately, I wanted to provide a guitar to people at a reasonable price to match the larger brand's quality. So
Understood. I wonder what kind of lacquers on those Gibson on those 335s, if they're poly or if it's lacquer, the finish, you know.
right. But yeah, so he kind of goes on and on about how they were able to kind of get him what he wanted. And they nailed it. So
Really? Maybe we should call them and get the Rich Severson model, jazz box.
oh no, definitely wouldn't want to do that. Not good enough.
No, you don't want a cheap one.
No, but people are always asking about those. So if you ever see one, might be worth buying it.
Sire, yeah.
I mean,
Jim
we've
Rohn-
had probably at least 20 people ask about if we've ever played a Sire on here. No doubt about that. So
Yeah. Interesting. Well, gosh, hey, do you want to do that reverb that get?
sure.
Have you ever heard of a Gibson Super 4000?
Nope.
Me neither. The Super 4000, Chet Atkins.
Huh. The most deluxe archtop ever made.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I own the most deluxe archtop ever made. Don't you?
What is that?
Well, you know what? The guy had changed a bunch of stuff on this thing. So it's got it's got a sliding. It's got a sliding tone control. It's a Super 400, I guess. It's a little thinner. It's, I think, 2.5 inch, something like that. Yeah, there's the thing. See, look at the tailpiece. See, he put on that other tailpiece, and he calls it the Howard Roberts tailpiece, like it's a big deal. That's just the fingered tailpiece that you can get for $125. So, but look at the tailpiece that originally came on it. But there it is, a Super 4000. I never heard of that. And how much is he asking for that?
27,000.
Well, that's a bargain compared to the 650 for a broken one.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that a strange guitar? So it's basically a Super 400 with, I don't know, thinner. It's thinner, got a different, it's got like a Johnny Smith pickup configuration. I don't know why he took off the tailpiece. That I don't think was a wise move.
Yeah, huh, that's interesting.
What has that guy got in his office there? He's got a piano, and what's that other thing?
I don't know, like a golf
Yeah.
thing.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Some type of golf.
Do you see how long that string is? See how long that string is?
Yeah,
The strings are long on that. Crazy.
absolutely.
That, which is nice because it makes a fat string more flexible. So you can put a fatter string on and get it, and it still feels thin. So I like that idea. He played the Sire the last time I saw him at the Baked Potato about 5 months ago. My 5-string Marcus Miller is as good as a Fender JS string and half the price. Jim Rolfe says this. Wow. Yeah.
Tom says he likes his Sire H7, great value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Problem is they don't have like a full-blown archtop though.
Yeah.
Maybe you just need to contact them and have them make that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Sire. We'll call it the Jester. The Court Jester.
William Melton asked, how much are personal, weekly, or bi-weekly lessons?
Well,
Is
you
this
know,
even an option?
yeah, it's
Not yet, but
I-
soon.
well. I had a bunch of. I've had students over the years, and Zoom lessons, and I'm going to phase that all out because we're going to talk about a new course, the new Jazz Guitar Accelerator, and what this involves is it's like a 10-week intensive that we'll have. I think we're talking about 10 weeks of 2 lessons a week, half-hour lessons, and lots of homework, and find out exactly where you're at, what you need, and that's where we're going. Also with a hour Zoom lecture, group lecture thing about things.
We're still putting a lot of final touches on it, so nothing is kind of set in stone yet. But for the most part, we're looking for students who are committed and that are going to be accountable to wanting to learn and stay on top of their stuff for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're trying to do meetings twice a week, possibly the third lecture type of thing. We're still working it all out, but it's going to launch here in the next couple weeks, at least the test version of it. So if you're interested in that, email us at rich@guitarcollege.com, and we can, once we launch it, you'll be the first to hear about it. But yeah, definitely more accountability. We're looking for people who want a structure and want to stay on top of it.
It's like going to school.
Right. And yeah, hopefully, they're going to have to play in front of you and stuff as well. So we're hoping that we can get rid of a lot of, some anxieties and,
True.
just being uncomfortable playing your stuff. And by the end of 10 weeks, you're going to be able to really just not be afraid to bust out some stuff. And like you said, it's going to start at your skill level, so we can put together a custom plan for you to get where you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it makes a great teacher, a great student. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't, I don't want to just do any more, I mean, it's fine with, with the one-off lessons, and stuff, but I'd rather do something more structured and have it so I can really see some super changes in a student. And so that's I'm personally looking for somebody that is ready to do it and really do it and not just fart around. In a nutshell. All right. So that's what excites me. I've had some students over the years that I've gone and thought, holy moly, boy, have they improved. And I've had other ones study with me a long time, and it's like, you ever going to get it together? So this will hopefully get people that are committed right from the get-go. So, and are going to stick with it. So, I know it sounds selfish, but I have other programs that people can do on a more casual basis. Does that sound good?
Yeah. So anyway, you guys will know when it's launched. We're still working out some of the stuff, and you'll be the first to hear about it. So, but anyway, we're looking for people to kind of test it too. So if you're really interested in it, like William says, that's me. So email us. I put the email address in the chat, and let us know. We can be one of the first to test it. It should be good. It's something that I don't think a lot of people are offering right now. That's for sure, especially at least in the jazz kind of realm.
Yeah.
Trying to get better at soloing or being a better rhythm player, whatever direction you're leaning, we can get you there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And only 2.5 months, so you can expect to see a major transformation in a short amount of time. That's why it's called the accelerator.
Yeah, the accelerator. Yeah. So the other, So that'll be exciting. We'll see what happens with that.
Kirby just chimed in here. When you change strings on your archtop guitar, should you change them one at a time or all at once?
Well, you have a movable bridge. It's always best to change them one at a time, so the bridge doesn't move, and the neck, you keep the pressure on the neck, and so it's not fluctuating all over the place. But if you do one at a time, it's safer. Let's put it that way. Hey, so let's say we have the Rich Severson Sire guitar. Would we want it to be 17-inch or 16-inch? What do you think people would like more? Could you guys make a comment about that? And also scale length.
I'd go ahead and say 18-inch, just something that no one's ever seen.
Yeah, 16 and a half probably would be the best, huh? And should it be this deep? So I think personally, this size, I always come, this size, this deepness, the 175, the L5 deepness. Sometimes it can be bulky. Some guys like it a little closer to them. I tend to, I don't know, I seem to adjust both ways. I don't know. Short scale 17 inch, 17 inch, 25 and a half. People want 17, huh? 25 inch, 3-inch depth.
How is it the Eastman behind you? What's the body on that? Is that the same as that L4?
Yeah.
Because that Eastman looks fatter even.
Well, it's fatter. This probably up here that's got a bigger arch. It's actually it's a 3 inches. This is 3.5. 1 3/4 inch nut width. Mark 16.5 inch lower bout.
Yeah, I like the 16.5 because there's not many of those out there, right? It's kind of best of both
I
worlds.
think X170 is like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would do the shorter scale. I would do 11/16 nut, though. Actually, for me, I'd do 9 9/16, but nobody would love that, would like that. So I've been going to be experimenting with cutting the nut, even though this is a 1 11/16 neck, putting a smaller nut on it, just to see what happens. Garrett has a hard time reaching around a fatter body. I know, you got a pretty little wife. That was funny, wasn't it?
No,
really.
it was
Okay.
awkward. But...
Awkward, yeah. I think you know what guitar? Actually, my Schaefer, the body of the Schaefer that I have, that would be nice. That body's already designed. They make it like that, and which is kind of like, it's a big 17 inch, but it's smaller bout up here. Okay, so it doesn't cut into you. So I'd probably do that. I think the radius is so important, and one thing I'm finding that a flatter neck, I can't do certain chords. So, like, I could do that chord where I can get this on a radius, on a flatter neck. I can't. So I think I would even make the radius a little rounder, which case you got to have a bridge to accommodate that. So that would be, they would have to do some work to do that. You can't just buy parts and put them on there. You'd have to make your own. So I think that would be good. Yeah, because as you get older, your fingers don't go straight. And if you have a straight board here and you try to press, you see that? Can you see that, Wes? When you press your finger down, you got those gaps there. You can't. So if it's a little rounder, it adheres so better. I have to have a rounder radius, Adam. And so I think that's true. It does feel a little better. Yeah, I had a guitar built for me. Ed Schaefer built it. Beautiful guitar. I pick it up and I think, oh, wow, sweet. So anyway, I think I would do that. And would you want one pickup or two?
I mean, is that even a question?
Oh, I just asked it.
Why would you want two?
Well, because that's got two. L5 CES has two. But I think I would put one. Just one on it.
Yeah, I would say you would have to have a one. Plus something else too, like a different something.
Well, the radius would be different. I wouldn't make it like a Fender. That's too round. I don't like that. One pickup, what kind of pickup would it be? It depends on what the body's going to sound like. So, one shallow pickup. That's what I'm thinking. You want kind of a darker sound. Shallows are dark. So, and I don't know about if you would need a sound post in there. That would be something to consider, just because if you get the guitar too lively, would it be laminate or solid? That's another thing.
Well, if it's that Sire, do you think those are?
Well, they don't make a solid top like a 335.
Right.
Those are laminate. But
I mean, a solid top's more expensive, right?
generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's your assignment, Wes.
Yeah, that's what I got to work on today.
Yeah.
I wish I could work on that kind of crap. It'd be fun.
Why not? Yeah, we need to do that kind of stuff. I think the finish has a lot to do with it. So that would be another thing. You got to have almost a finish that's, you don't want the poly finish. So a real light finish. So paint it black, yes. My 77 Artist Award. 9.5 radius. Really? Interesting.
Yeah, what about the headstock?
Well, it's got to have one.
Oh, no, you should have one without a headstock, for sure. 100%. The first jazz guitar without.
When you get tuned down here, yeah.
Yes. See, that's different.
See, I would also want the tailpiece to be the strings to join the tailpiece like back here. So you get a longer string. So you put a heavier string on to get a bigger sound, and it still feel flexible. Headstock would have to be larger. I think it should be larger than this. And then I've often toyed with the idea of putting a piece of metal in the headstock. I know that you think I'm nuts, but it improves sustain like crazy. So.
Huh. Yeah, there you go.
The headstock should resemble the letter R. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you have a piece of bronze a bronze R that's like in it, you know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And they'll somehow still be able to sell it for $650.
Yeah. Yeah. So good for you, Larry, breaking the ties with Gibson, I guess. Gibson, I kind of feel sorry for them. Boy, they've been through they've been ripped off more times than Chuck Berry. So
It's like saying, like, man, I feel sorry for Coca-Cola. Man, they've been ripped off so many times by Pepsi and all these. It's like they'll be fine.
yeah, they will be, I guess. Yeah, they will be. Well, what do you think, Wes? Do you think it's time to wrap this thing up?
Unless someone else has any other questions, yeah. And then let's see, we'll be here next week, but then the week after we got camp. We got to figure out what we're gonna do that week for camp.
Got to figure out what we're gonna. Well, aren't you gonna do a? Yeah, what are we gonna do? That's on a Thursday. We could do a live stream
I know.
on Thursday because that's when everybody's working on their songs. Could
Right.
we couldn't go remote. You know, they don't have a very good Wi-Fi there. You know, we couldn't walk around too much.
No, 100% not able to do that. But like, what I was saying was the Q&A thing with the instructors. If you could schedule that, you probably already have it all scheduled though, right?
Yeah. Do I have what scheduled?
You know how last year you did that Q&A session, question and answer. And
Yeah.
you just had the students ask whatever you want to all four of you guys up there.
Oh yes. That was on Thursday.
So that is what we can make it. I can like broadcast it like it's a press conference or something, you know,
That's cool.
and have like a stick mic and have the person ask the question and then have you guys up there.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, that I assume I could pull that off, maybe. Sure, be a little clunky, but because I think we could do something.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Yeah, let's do that. Bill Smith says, "Don't wrap up. Yes, I'd like to speak. My name is Bill Carmel. Carmel, is that what it says? Carmel. Okay.
Al said that something in the 80s, there used to be a company that sold brass plates to put on the headstock, and they claimed it increased sustain.
You're kidding. When it does increase sustain. I'd like, boy, could you find a picture of that or something? I'd be interested to see that.
And then Anderson just asked, let's see, what is it? The Ibanez.
AF71F. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Here you go. It's just like their hollow body.
Okay, is that a Charlie Christian pickup on it? What?
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna say because it's used, but looks like it, right?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Huh.
Never
I
played
don't
one?
know. No, I won't play one of those. Yeah, you would have to do something different, you know, and something cooler. Something cool. It's got to look cool.
Yeah, some sort of like the F hole with like an R or something would be interesting.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, a guitar luthier really has to be an artist because, you know, it's not enough being a woodworker. You have to be an artist because some. By the way, I wanted to make a note here on the Hofner. When I got in with Hofner, Mike Lipke was the setup and repair guy. Do you remember him? Was Mike?
No.
Mike went on to start his own company and build and built just fantastic, beautiful, solid body guitars. And he did a fret job for me that was just unreal. He was an artist. He's passed away, and what a talented guy. And that's kind of what you almost have to be really stand out as a luthier. You have to be an artist pretty much, because it's just more than gluing wood together and carving and stuff. It's got to make it look bitchin'. So anyway, by the way, on this guitar we're designing, does it matter the acoustic sound of it? Just a thought.
I don't know what it does it to you.
No. I mean, everything, it enhances the sound of the guitar, but some guys want it to be really loud. But it's an electric guitar. Should we play just some C minor blues to end this, or shall we just end it?
You can do whatever you want. There you go with Brian said, I've watched many of your videos, guys, but would love your take on Hofner Jazzicas and Verythins. So, yeah. So you can rewind.
Yeah,
we
just did a whole thing.
Yeah, we have a big section on the Verythin that started at about 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then, and there's videos on Jazzica. I mean, they're great, right?
Yeah, Jazzica, my only beef with the Jazzicas had 24 frets. 24 frets means the pickup is pushed closer to the bridge. That's the other thing I would do on my guitar, is make sure this pickup is as far away from the bridge as you can get it. And you don't need all these frets. You know, if you want to play up here, play the mandolin. I think even a B flat is all you need if you're a jazz player. Do you need C up here? I mean, C's nice, but B flat's fine. So that's what I gotta think.
Here you go. Here's what I got for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, groove tubes. Okay, so yeah, the fat finger was the.
Yeah, so
that's
the fat finger is.
That's from the same guy. What he passed away. That guy who designed all that stuff, and so I have that, and
the fat finger thing.
I have one for bass and one for guitar.
Is it Fender?
No, it's Groove Tube guy who made it. That thing it improves sustain. It does, but it also is heavier. But I like that brass thing you got going there.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name. Bruce Adolph would know his name. Gail, do you remember his name? That used to run the Groove Tube thing? Anyway.
Garrett said C minor blues, yes. So let's do this for Garrett. This track is out of tune. How does the track get out of tune?
If it was made off a cassette.
Oh my God. Time to make a new C minor blues track if that's the case.
Can you turn my guitar up a little? I'm going to turn it down here. Okay, guys. Well, hey, I want to thank you again for joining us. You really make our day when you chime in. We really appreciate it. Please come back again. We're going to do it again next Thursday at 11 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. And bring your questions, okay? We didn't really get to a lesson today, but we'll do it next week. So we're signing off. Say goodbye, Wes.
See you guys.
Adios, amigo.